Hi, I'm Aaron Losey. I've been hosting drift events for 23 years or something like that at this point. I run Lone Star Drift and Drift Week and have been driving and just enjoying drifting and traveling the world and on a big adventure with this whole sport for decades. So I drive an S14 240SX, which in America comes with a KA24, which means we kind of have to swap them or else they're awful cars. We never got a great Sylvia or anything in the United States. They're just kind of like a builder platform. So my car runs an LS3 with a cam, which is a great motor package, really reliable and really suits someone like myself who drives a lot. So the car is kind of based around an LS3, makes like 460 wheel, and then everything else follows suit with the car just to be stupid, reliable, and simple. I've got a cool angle kit on the car. I've got just arms that are whatever on the rear. I've got a 350Z diff and 350Z axles and a big T56 transmission, which is way too heavy. Has more gears than you need. You don't really need more than 4 gears for drifting. Runs a 3.5 diff, so it kind of works everywhere. And the car, I think it looks cool, but it often is like tattered and falling apart. It's my favorite chassis, which is an S14. I've had everything. I've had 335i's, E36's, Cressidas that make, 600 wheel, stock JZX100s. I've had probably 15 of those, 350Z's, 370Z's, just like everything you can imagine drifting. I had a V8 Volvo wagon. I've had a lot of junk and I really enjoy the S chassis. They're kind of the quintessential drift car. They work just so well and you can balance them on a good tire and like a good drivetrain and stuff. And they're just such a joyful car. That's kind of what I really like about drifting is like, you pick what you want, you build it your way, and then you make it your thing. And you can drive it, like there's Corolla drivers, there's whatever drivers. I end up with an LS platform. I can't be responsible with turbos, so I do have turbo cars and stuff. If it's like a factory Toyota 1JZ or 2JZ, I can keep that reliable, but I can't keep big turbo stuff reliable. I'm attached to the car in a weird way where I like it because I can beat on it and it's not precious to me. But I have probably driven this car at more than 100 days of drifting, maybe 250 days of drifting, I'm not quite sure. So it's probably done like 30 plus different tracks, which is more than most drifters ever do in their entire career. And it's been really good to me, really reliable. It doesn't like blow up too often. Most of the times it's blown up has been like our fault, but it doesn't let me down much at events, and that's the most you can ask for a car is like not let you down and like give you a good time. I saw a picture that one of my photographers got today of me like chasing Chelsea, and like we're stacked up and like Chelsea's at full lock, and we were kind of like doing a little backy into the speed sports corner, and like the car looks good. I'm not super into pictures because I'm old and everything, but like gives you that little nostalgic picture that you'll have in 10 years that's beautiful and cool and reminds you of that time you're driving with your buddy or whatever. Yeah. The car needs to get out of the way and allow you to do stuff, and it needs to just be a tool, like your conduit to good driving. So like your good driving comes from the people you're around, from your ability to like concentrate and think about what you want to do and accomplish something, the tracks that you drive at, the tires that you drive on, like your angle kit, the drivetrain, all those things come together and the car just allows you to do stuff. So like on Drift Week, I just need something where I'm not getting left behind from everybody, that I can keep up with Chelsea and I can be confident in my driving, where like I'm not spinning out or like I don't feel like I'm in danger or anything else. And it needs to let me do my thing. And then the tracks also do that, like, give you the ability to increase your skill level and The car should just not be in the way, if that makes sense. So I don't think you need a difficult car, you don't need a rotary, you don't need a big weird power band, you don't need anything in particular to become a better driver. The car just should get out of the way and not be a problem, if that makes sense. You just don't want like a bitchy girlfriend of a car ruining your day. You don't want the car to fail for any reason. You want to be on good tires, you want to do all those things. In fact, I think the worse a car is, the more it holds you back and the more difficult it is to drive. Which is why I drive like a V8 car and all that stuff on good parts. If I was describing to someone why I still drive and why I enjoy it, it's because you, one, get chemically addicted to it, and like that's what you want to do is like go drive. It's where your dopamine comes from and your adrenaline and all these things. You get really chemically addicted. Chelsea and I were talking about that a lot, like when we used to jump Manami all the time. You'd get a hit of adrenaline like every 30 seconds going over that jump again and again and again. And you enjoy drifting so much and you don't know what else to do with your life, because when you're at home, that's all you really want to think about is like modifying your car or like the next time you're going to go drive or the next place you're going to go drive. And like it kind of consumes you. And then you base your life around being able to make that work. For myself, it was hosting drift events, and you form your life around the ability to go do that. And then you either burn out because you're not having fun or it's not working out and drifting isn't for you and you kind of run off, or you're like the YouTubers right now, like you guys, where you're having such a good time with it and it's so like, the feedback loop is so good. The more you put into it, the more everyone loves you and the more you get to drive and the better your cars are getting and the cooler parts you get to drive on and the better tires and the better tracks. And like it just, the feedback loop just keeps going and going and going. And that's why I love drifting, is because I got into a really good feedback loop. Why I keep drifting is because that feedback loop of positive, cool stuff happening continues to be good, and I continue to have amazing adventures and meet amazing people and go on cool, crazy trips. And like, it's not the same event over and over and over again. Competing, I used to be really down on competing, even though I licensed Formula D drivers for more than a decade, I think, and I did like D1 GP licensing. I did a full season of D1 myself, and then like one event of Formula D, and then 2 seasons of NOPI, and then I obviously drive at my own events and stuff. What do I think about competitive drifting coming from that background? It's necessary to a certain degree because people aren't creative enough to go do something else. And a lot of people really enjoy being pushed and competing against your friends. This series forces some guys to drive really hard and very thoughtfully and get better fast. And it pushes the community if you have a good group of drivers that enjoy it and love it and want to do it. If you have, like, let's say Formula D licensing and you have 100 kids around the country or 200 kids around the country wood chipping themselves into this fucking thing, 3 are going to come out maybe on top. All the others feel like failures and might quit. I mean, they might not quit, but I always felt very bad because we would wood chip so many people heading up the ladder to like get to Formula D. So I was gonna say, I understand competitive drifting. I think it's necessary. I think it's cool because it pushes people forward. If it escalates too quickly, where the costs get out of control, you start wood chipping everybody because individuals are competing against corporations and they don't realize what's going on. They think it's just a bunch of dudes out there competing against each other, when in essence, Team Falcon was pumping millions of dollars and paying those drivers and like having pit crews and doing all this stuff in the early days. And while drifting does level the playing field a lot and allow people to, like, a no-man guy in an S14 can go compete against Team Falcon and stuff. But Team Falcon was also renting the tracks on the side, had professional mechanics, huge expenses, you know, like that they could warrant because they were a company, and this dude down here is competing off of his job, where very difficult and very hard for this guy to succeed. And if you have 100 guys competing against this company, almost no one's gonna succeed. But I'll take a bunch of people and take them to Japan or take them to Drift Week or take them on all these different things. Some people wanna spend more money and go have more adventures than going to their local track every weekend and being repetitive over and over and over again. So they end up wanting to compete and go to higher levels of drifting because they aspire to do something more than just go to the track that's 30 minutes away and that's all they do, which is what a lot of drivers do. You're getting to do all these tracks that are outside of your normal network. You're getting to drive with the best drivers in the world, like period, hands down, and really cool cars. And you're just having all these experiences that you couldn't get 10 years ago necessarily without someone going and like handing you this, kind of like I do. And I'm giving people a different outlet than just what they normally had access to, I guess you could say. I want to continually evolve and change, and I want to kill Drift Week eventually. I never meant it to go past like Drift Week 3, but here we are. I'm already on Drift Week 10 planning right now, April 19th. We're doing that up in the Pacific Northwest. Contact me if you'd like to be a part of that. That's probably the one thing I should actually plug. I hope to have cool ideas and continue to change things and get to go on different adventures, but I don't know what else to do. And I don't know how to change drifting. I don't know. I've probably hosted 1,000 days of drifting at least. And I don't want to just continue doing the same thing until I'm 60 years old. I want to continue changing what I'm doing and new experiences, and I'm always looking for the new thing, because like I found 𝐒𝐴ZY like a decade ago or something and went to Japan more than a decade ago the first time. And I can't have like seen everything in drifting, if that makes sense. I can't have done everything I want to do. We need to go make new things to go do. We need to go build new types of cars, like change drifting and push it forward and do interesting things and find those interesting things and extract them for ourselves. Because like you guys, I would think that you guys would have huge FOMO of like, you're young and stuff, but you missed drifting in Japan in like the 90s and early 2000s, which sucks. And you'll never get that back. Japan is nothing like it was 20 years ago. You guys could have been driving $1,000 R34s at 𝐒𝐴ZY, 15 years ago, jumping Minami and like hanging out with D1 guys and doing all that cool stuff, but you'll never have that. Probably a lot of European drifting is disappearing as well because of regulations over there and different things. You guys probably don't see that much because you're in Poland, but like other people are constantly telling me all their tracks are like disappearing and stuff. If you guys don't push forward drifting because you have a huge audience, y'all have youth, if you know what I mean. Both you guys are in your 20s, right?
30s.
Oh, you're 30s?
Just turned 30.
Oh, you dress like you're in your 20s. Trying to be young. Okay, I thought you guys were younger. But I was gonna say, it's kind of like drifting is on the back of you guys. You guys have the audience. You guys and Adam and Taylor and a few other people, you guys are the option videos of like 2003 that are influencing not just an entire generation of people, but also a generation of car builds, a generation of style, a generation of what people like wanna wear, a generation of like, merch designs, a generation of wheels that people will be putting on cars. I'm sure you guys have realized that people have like cosplayed your cars and built replicas of your cars. I'm sure you realize people will build drivetrains that are replicas of your cars and you'll be trendsetters. There's a lot of responsibility in that. And you guys, I don't want to say like you're pieces of shit if you don't take that seriously, and like really think about it and do your thing, because it's a lot of responsibility and a lot of guilt if you don't get it right. But I mean, that is what it is. Like, if you guys screwed up and told everybody you need to go build a turbo rotary engine or you're not cool, you guys will effectively have ruined 90% of all drifters that follow what you tell them to do, if that makes sense. And that sucks, because that's what 2003 option videos told everyone, was you had to build a turbo car, you had to build something from scratch, you had to put a body kit on it, you had to do like all these individual things, which was not something that new people in drifting could necessarily do. They need the most basic car with a stock factory tune, with the stock injectors, with a stock transmission, with a stock clutch, maybe a differential, and I do see that in your videos a lot. You guys drift some really basic stuff over in Poland, which is rad, and you just put fucking smaller tires on it, or like air up the air pressure more and make it easy to drive. So anyways, that's it. Thank you very much.
Good morning and welcome back home. Since we filmed that video with Aaron, I
was thinking about what he said about him seeing us as being responsible of how the future of drifting looks, and it's actually interesting topic. I'd like to know your opinion about everything he said. So please, if you wanna maybe share your thoughts, put them in the comments. The comment section is for you. We are always reading them and happy to reply and maybe have some conversation about this. For now, we are back home, as you can see, and we have 9 days till Christmas. This is the last time to order your Christmas presents. If you want to buy anything from our website and get it shipped before Christmas to your place, this is literally last moment for the package to come. If you use DHL Express or InPost, it's gonna come on time. Otherwise, it'll be too late. If you don't have any presents yet, go and bang it now. And I'm gonna get ready because we are now gonna film our Christmas special video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.